what do you think when you're putting your hard-earned cash into somebody's deal? What are sort of the 2 or 3 biggest things you look for? And you can't say due diligence on the sponsor, because that's obviously the big one. And that's, I've been talking about that a lot. Obviously the due diligence, what the sponsor, their level of experience, all that stuff, that's kind of the obvious one. But you've got a couple of interesting other metrics you look for that I want you to share with our audience. So if you're an LP investor out there looking, what are the things you look for in a specific deal or a specific sponsor team?
Well, number one, as it relates to the Facebook world and some of the groups and people that we run in the same circles, I would never invest in somebody who's not full-time. You have to be a full-time, and you have to have a team. I personally never invest in a single operator or somebody who's not full-time. The typical guy who's, doing IT during the day or fix and flip during the day, and there's cobbling together some guys boots on the ground. No way, not for me. Not that they can't make money. I have friends who are those guys who have just gone through the cycle of going full-time, getting rid of the W-2. They can be successful, but if I have a choice, and I have a choice, I'm going to pick the best. And they don't have to be the biggest. In fact, I like mid-sized companies where the principals are very much involved in the business, have a very good pulse on it, but there's a company behind the sponsorship. It's not one guy. So if I get hit by a car, there's 3, 4 more key members of my team that are full-time employees, not just this, ABC real estate and XYZ real estate coming together on this deal. There's a consistency. It's a company. You know what I mean?
100%. Doesn't ask about the size. Okay, good. So you won't invest with somebody who's not full-time. What else do you look at in general?
So I look at, do they have experience in that asset class? So, I think, I forget the cliche, what are you, a master of none or something along those lines. The guys who are, one day they're buying self-storage, then it's retail, then it's student housing, then it's blah, 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 blah. It's like every month they have a new deal. I'm not comfortable with that because I just don't think they know the asset class well enough, much less the specific markets and sub-markets that they need to know. So that for me is really important. And then I'm going to dig into the underwriting, and I want to make sure that all those assumptions are defensible.
Right.
So, for me, it's easy, right? So as I look to invest as an LP, and interestingly enough, I generally invest as an LP in asset classes that I'm not in. So it makes it a little bit more challenging for me. Like, I've invested in industrial. I've invested in some medical office because it's not what I do, and I want to diversify.
Right.
If I'm going to invest in student housing or conventional, putting money in my own deals. But still, I've invested in others. So I'm going to look at the cap rate. Is that defensible? I'm going to look at, are you walking in to cash flow day one? That's going to be important for me. Is there any speculation to the deal? In other words, are you going to take, $1 million of NOI from the T12 and expect to grow that to 2 million in 18 months? That, all those things, there's a bunch of red flags, and that causes a dialogue, at least for me, with the sponsor saying, hey, I notice you're growing your NOI. How are you getting there? Oh, we're going to raise rents by $200. Okay. How are you going to do that? Well, we're going to renovate. Okay. How many units are you going to renovate? Okay. How long is it going to take you? What are you assuming, you're going to have your X amount of units offline, right? While you renovate. All those questions lead to some sort of, gut feel, not gut feel, but a confirmation that doesn't jive. There's no way you're going to renovate that type of scope in 1 week, multiply by X units. You're just not going to do it, right? If there's enough of those like, that's aggressive. No, thank you.
What about skin in the game? How important is it for the sponsor to have skin in the game? And if it is important, how much? $5 or So if you enjoyed this clip and you want to see the entire episode, click here. And if you want to see other videos similar to this, click here.